A cybersecurity expert becomes a whistleblower to reveal secrets about aliens, putting him on the run from a corporation while a meteorologist experiences strange phenomena and joins the forces with him to prove there's life beyond our knowledge. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Courtofcinema podcast. I'm your host, Logan, here to talk about everything film and TV. And today we're talking about Disclosure Day, which is directed by Steven Spielberg, written by David Koepp. Cinematography is by Janusz Kaminski, and composing the film is John Williams. And before I say anything about this movie, it feels so good to be talking about a Spielberg movie. It feels so good to have been blessed with the opportunity to go to a theater to see this film in IMAX and able to sit down and watch a brand new Spielberg movie in a theater. It's insane. I mean, all these guys are a lot older than a lot of people, and they've been making movies since before my parents were even born, and they've been just doing such an incredible job with it. Spielberg, who's probably the biggest director of all time, I would say. I mean, Nolan is really big, and Denis Villeneuve, he's getting there for sure, but Spielberg, I think he's truly the biggest. He is the movie director. And he's done an incredible job producing as well. Amblin Entertainment is awesome. But with Jurassic Park, with Jaws and E.T., list goes on. Everyone has at least one Spielberg movie that they enjoy. At least one. I mean, you may not think it's one of the best of all time, but everyone has at least one Spielberg movie that they like and they have a really fun time with. It might be E.T., it might be Disclosure Day, it might be Ready Player One. It could be anything, but everyone has at least one Spielberg movie that they really, really enjoy. And this crew with Janusz Kaminski and John Williams as well, a couple of very, very seasoned veterans in their respective fields, and they're still making movies and still doing a very good job doing it all together. But going into this movie, I was excited for it. Even before I saw the first trailer, hearing Spielberg, he's making a movie, I'm all in. That's it. That's all you had to tell me. Even before I heard Aliens, once I heard Spielberg, he's making a movie, I'm in. I'm all in. Ticket, already bought it even before it was announced. I'm ready for it. I'm all here for it. And this new era of Spielberg movies has been a little bit different. It's been a little bit weird and an interesting pivot for him, I'd say, with West Side Story. And then he moved on to basically his own biopic he directed with The Fabelmans. I love that. I love seeing that and seeing this movie as well, Disclosure Day. He's really going back to form when it comes to making alien movies. It's all cool to see Spielberg make a Spielberg biopic. And also it's kind of cool to see him direct West Side Story. That's a very, very good film, by the way. You should definitely watch it. It's cool seeing all those things, but it's very special to see him go back to form. He hasn't done a really big alien movie like this in a while, so seeing him tap back into the roots of the E.T. films, of the War of the Worlds films, it's great. I think that he's maybe potentially at his best when he's in the sci-fi genre. That's, I think, a pretty good take to have. But basically, saw the movie. I was happy with it. I enjoyed it. It's a good film, a very good flick. It's maybe, sure, I'll call it the flagship summer blockbuster movie. Or not the flagship. It's kind of weird to say. It's kind of like the first big movie of the summer, I would call it. I think it is. And, we have Obsession and we have Backrooms, which are making bank right now. But Disclosure Day feels like it's the first true summer blockbuster movie of the year so far. And we have The Odyssey and also Spider-Man and Supergirl. But Disclosure Day, it's truly, the flagship summer blockbuster movie. And it's a very good way to start the summer. I loved it. I loved it a lot. So going into themes and going to what I think are the big pros of the movie, starting off with themes. And the themes for the movie, they kind of revolve around empathy and purpose and how we connect as humans. And he's done this a lot. And I've seen a lot of other directors do it a lot as well. Films that I think are very, very similar to this would be Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And I'd say that movie is maybe the closest when it comes to being the most similar to this movie. And I know that it's rumored that Disclosure Day is an unofficial sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and I definitely do see that. Even when I watched that movie for the first time earlier this week, I was watching it, Close Encounters, and I said to myself, this feels so similar to Disclosure Day, even before it was even released. It was like on Tuesday or Wednesday before I even saw it. I watched it and I was like, this movie feels so similar to Disclosure Day. And it was. I mean, this movie, it's so similar to Close Encounters and in a good way as well. I mean, I think that almost to the extent where I was telling myself, this movie is just Steven Spielberg remastering Close Encounters almost. And that's kind of a cool thing. Maybe you could say it's a cool thing or a bad thing, him just remaking a movie, but it's not exactly the same, but it's just very, very similar in terms of its structure, in terms of the story at least. It's super duper similar. Other movies I'd say this movie kind of follows along with that would be Signs. I love Signs. Signs is an incredible movie, and you may not be the biggest fan of Signs, but I truly, really, really do enjoy it. I remember it was last year or the year before that, I went on a fairly big M. Night Shyamalan run and just rewatched and watched a lot of his movies. He's incredible. So Signs is definitely a bigger one where I'd say in terms of it's focusing more on characters and people instead of the aliens. The aliens are almost secondary in an alien movie, which you may think is bad, but that's almost what it is. I'd say also E.T. It does kind of feel a lot like E.T. at times, maybe with the score and with the story, the way it does kind of have moments where it shows the impact of aliens and adolescents being together, and that also is kind of stirring in more the themes of purpose and also with empathy, that too. But maybe a film that I'd say is a better version of this movie is Arrival. That's the easiest way to say it, to the point where aliens are almost secondary in Arrival, and aliens are only really used to explain the themes and really give the message of what this movie really is. That's what Arrival is, and that's really what Disclosure Day is as well. So if you're looking for a movie this summer that also has great action, it has really good action. That's another big pro for me. The action sequences are really, really good. It has a lot of really cool moments. This movie structurally is more of a cat and mouse movie. So, we have the antagonist group over here, and they're really just chasing our protagonist's characters throughout a very large chunk of the movie. That's what the film is, basically start to finish. So the action pieces and the chase sequences are extremely entertaining, just like with a lot of other Spielberg movies. But the action is great. But if you want a movie that truly is speaking to you, particularly you, and trying to tell you something really, really important, and really trying to give some symbolism for what an alien movie, isn't really doing in other regards, then watch this movie. I think that if you want a film that has these very heightened big moments, but really focuses on the smaller points instead of the action, then watch this film. If you're looking for a film like Independence Day or something with a lot of really big action, then don't watch this. I'm just going to tell you like it is. It does have big action, but it's not the number one priority here. Another big pro for me is the cinematography and the directing. One of my favorite, just incredible duos or duo moments, whatever, in a movie is the cinematographer and the director. Those two, or those three or four, maybe it can be sometimes. That's really, really important to have. And with these two guys, Spielberg and Kaminsky, they've been directing films together longer than my parents have been married. That's crazy to say that this business partnership has been going on for a very, very long time. Kaminsky is 66 years old and Spielberg is 79. So they've been doing it together for so long, growing together, learning together, to the point where when they're working together, they understand each other so, so well. I love the cinematography here. It has a lot of very cool, what's the word I'm looking for? Lens flares is the word for it, I'm sorry. Lens flares, it's in a lot of the Spielberg films shot by Kaminsky. He loves it a lot. I know that different cinematographers hate lens flares, but Kaminsky embraces them fully, and there's a lot of them here. Light is coming from so many different places, and it's just very beautiful throughout the entire movie. Shot on film as well. I'm a very big film snob. Film is better than digital a lot of the time. Film looks beautiful here. The grain is scrumptious. It looks incredible. Loved it a lot. And the directing. There's a lot of really cool crane sequences and just the way they also utilize Wonder sequences as well in the movie. Directing's awesome. I mean, it's Spielberg, so I shouldn't be too surprised about having great directing in this movie. The score as well from John Williams. John Williams, 94 years old, and he's still making incredible scores for movies. I mean, the work ethic from everyone in this movie is insane, but mainly from the director, the writer, the cinematographer, and the composer being really old. I'm going to say it, they're pretty old, and they're still making banger work, and they're still giving and pouring so much of themselves into this art form. It's truly, truly beautiful. And I kind of ranted about it before, but I'll rant about it a teeny bit more. I think that a lesson for me that I learned from this movie that I didn't really intend to learn, but after watching it, I just kind of started thinking about the thought of retirement. And I'm only 22 years old, so, I know I have a very long time before I could even think about retiring. But it's just seeing these creatives that instead of retiring, Spielberg, he's making so much money right now just from his older movies that he doesn't even need to work forever. I mean, his grandchildren's grandchildren won't need to work for the rest of their life. That's how much money he has and how big the Spielberg name is now. He doesn't even need to do anything ever again. But he's only doing this because he truly loves what he does. Even with Kaminsky, he's a very well-known and very well-established director, cinematographer. He's very well-established, very, very good in that field and that side of movies. He also may not need to work ever again. He's 66 years old right now. And John Williams, the Williams brand, from Jurassic Park to Star Wars to insert a lot of your favorite movies, John Williams may have composed one of them at least. He is another guy who's 94 years old. John Williams is rich beyond belief, and he also doesn't need to direct or compose anything else ever again. But it's the fact that these guys are so old, and they're also really good, but they're so much older now to the point where they don't need to work ever again. And the only thing making them work is their love for this passion, for this field. It's just pure love. And that's just something for me, how everyone is sold the American dream about go to college, get a house, get married, have kids, get a job, and then work for like 30 years and then get a retirement fund going, whatever. And then at that point, never work again. That's the American dream, and buy a house, get in debt, all that fun stuff, right? But seeing how these guys are breaking the mold and showing us that you don't need to retire. You can really work forever if you truly love what you do and you feel like you are giving something special to the world. Even if you're 94 years old, you can work and still find happiness and purpose in what you're doing. So it does kind of tie back into the movie, unintentionally maybe, but at least for me. And if you want to retire, I'm not saying that retiring is bad, but it does show that you don't have to retire. If you're truly loving what you're doing, and if you're 94 or 79 years old, you can still continue to contribute and show the world that you truly love your passion and you have something to give to them. So why not keep doing it? Why not work forever? And why not find the thing that you love to do so much that you would truly work till you're 94 years old? This random side tangent, random rant out of the way. I'm sorry. It's just something that for me, it spoke to me, even though it wasn't supposed to. Spielberg may be like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Logan, but Spielberg, still, thank you. I love this theme that you unintentionally kind of threw in here by being an older gentleman, but thank you for that. The last pro for the movie, I'd say, is acting. It's no surprise. I mean, the acting's incredible. Emily Blunt is incredible in the movie. She may get an Oscar nomination here for the film. And I know I said that Indy Navarrete was incredible in Obsession, and we may not get another performance as good as her, but Emily Blunt potentially is better than Nikki in Obsession by maybe a hair. She's really good here. A lot of the film does revolve around her and her moments where the spotlight is on there. The light is never too bright for Emily Blunt. She's been in films a lot, from A Quiet Place to Oppenheimer. She's done a lot of great films. I feel like recently, whatever she's in, she's just giving Oscar-level stuff, like with Sicario or with The Smashing Machine or with Fall Guy even. She's still doing incredible stuff there. So I say thank you to Emily Blunt as well. Actors that are No surprise, good, is Josh O'Connor. It's Josh O'Connor. He's on his way to becoming another movie star that we have in the ranks here with Challengers, Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out. He's on the path, and he's picking really good movies to be a part of. Him being the lead man in a Spielberg movie shows the world that, yes, he is that kind of guy that can do it. Other very good notable actors, apart from everyone being great, is Colin Firth and Coleman Domingo, a couple of guys that, no surprise, are really good. A surprise for me, a guy that I didn't even know was in the film and also was really good, Wyatt Russell. You may only know him as U.S. Agent from the Avengers films and John Walker, whatever. He's great here, and he is a Nepo baby, but still, he's phenomenal. He earned it. I wouldn't say earned it, but he's good. Regardless, he's very, very good. Now, that's pros out of the way for the most part. Going into cons here for the movie, it's only one con, and that's definitely the bigger con for the movie. The film does a lot right with the acting, with the action sequences, with the themes as well, and the characterization, whatever. A lot of it's good, but the priorities for the movie feel out of place at times. I mean, this movie is a lot to tell. It's a lot to have to really work through and a lot to have to, explain to people. But just from mixing with the aliens, the information that's being provided to the audience, the characterization, the action, and the themes for the movie as well, a lot of it does kind of feel like the priorities are kind of wacky a bit. It's kind of murky. And in the hands of a lot of different filmmakers, it may be a complete disaster. I heard that from Carson Runquist, and I definitely agree. In the hands of a lot of filmmakers, this movie doesn't even get released. But since it's Spielberg and since it's this kind of crew he's working with, it does work, but it could have been better. It does feel kind of messy at times. I mean, the characterization could have been better. The action sequences where they're placed, maybe some action sequences that kind of felt were not needed. We could have just shaven off some action sequences, and instead we add in some more character moments would have been nice here. Or with the themes, maybe doing it a little bit better in some moments. Or the aliens, they're not here that much, but maybe they could have been in here more. Or maybe some alien moments could have been cut from the movie, I say. But for the most part, characterization or the priorities for the movie, they do kind of feel out of whack at times. But overall, I did enjoy myself. The film was overall really good. And the ending might be my last pro for the movie. The ending is incredible. I think that with a lot of Spielberg movies and a lot of films in general, the ending, for me, a guy who watched a lot of films, studied a lot of movies as well, as a guy that watches way too many movies, what makes a good ending, in my eyes, is a point in a movie where the director, writer, whatever, they don't need to do that much. The ending kind of just flows out. That's what I feel when I watch Whiplash or La La Land or E.T. or even Babylon. Damien Chazelle does a really good job with it. But a lot of films, even Nolan movies do it as well, and Denis Villeneuve films do it as well. For a lot of films, a good ending for me is where the director, or writing director, whatever, they put in a lot of work in throughout the movie, and then when the third act comes, the third act, the final moment of the movie, it just flows. You put the momentum, you pushed a ball hard enough, and now as the ball slowly comes to a stop, the film can just slowly, progressively, naturally end beautifully. And that's how I feel with the movie. Disclosure Day, the ending is one of the best of the year so far, and it might get dethroned by The Odyssey most likely, but we'll have to see in about a month. So that's my last pros of the film. Now, what are my thoughts? Should you see it? Not see it? Whatever. Go see it. I mean, I say go see any movie, but for this movie, it is Spielberg, so immediately it's one of the most important films of the year so far. But that's for me. My score for the film is a B+ for now. It could go up or down if I watch it, but for right now, this is a must-see movie, for me at least. Maybe not for everyone, for me, I say yes, a must-see film. But enough about what I thought about the movie, enough of my thoughts for the film. What did you think about Disclosure Day? Was it good? Was it bad? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Why? Exactly. Explain. I want to know. But until next time, that's about it for me. Go watch what you want to watch. Go like what you like. Go see every film in a theater if you can. Definitely, before you watch this movie, go watch Close Encounters with the Third Kind. Or even after you watch this movie, go watch Close Encounters. It's a very important film to maybe understand and kind of appreciate this one a little bit more. I think Close Encounters might be the Alien movie. Maybe. I mean, we have Alien and Aliens, but still, Close Encounters, it's a really important film for film history, and it's incredible, Spielberg, filmography-wise. So I say go watch that and go watch Disclosure Day. They're both a great double feature for you. But until next time, enough of my yapping. Stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more movies, and until next time, I'm Roast Logan. I'll see you guys in the next one.